I kind of begrudgingly respect just the dedication to not getting better at what you do for a living. Just coast through life.
It probably shouldn't even happen.
If you got it, you got to flaunt it, Acid.
You know what? I got a lot of stuff that I don't want to flaunt, so I just keep it to myself.
Jeremy is really big into the used mattresses. I think that's an excellent deal.
He has a used mattress store on the side.
I'm not going to pull the pants down without the pants down cue.
And we found out that Anthony's friends are all 13-year-old boys. Nice.
Clay, how you doing?
Doing a little more poorly after that terrible introduction. I was just fine, to be honest with you.
Hello, Sci-Fi Gangsters. This is a show where we talk about science fiction, video games, and comic books, but really it's just an excuse for me to catch up with my friends. I'm Anthony Denar, media scholar and person who just successfully defended his prospectus. So one more hurdle in my PhD tenure, getting this PhD, successfully defended my prospectus. So fantastic. I'm pretty excited about that. All I have to do now is write my dissertation. Right. And this summer, I'm going to try to write as much as possible. But that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is actually, we don't have a main topic, but just a grab bag. We're just catching up. So we're going to talk about various things here. Probably talk about what's new in our life. Probably going to talk about the various shows or video games that we've been playing, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, let's go ahead and introduce our special guest for today, Lindsay, Lee's Southern, right?
Z Southern.
Lee Southern. Did I say Lee Southern?
Yes.
With the Zorro sword.
Don't know why I went with Lee. There's no Lee as part of your name. I don't know why I did it. But anyways, Z Southern, always good to have you.
I'm glad to be here. It's been a while. I've missed some of the fun little debates that we have having.
Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. Well, it's good to have you here. And then, of course, the producer of the show, Acidtrain. Acid, how you doing?
Oh, man, what's happening? I'm just, living the dream, trying to stay awake. How we roll, baby.
Well, fantastic. Well, once again, today's topic is we're going to just talk about miscellaneous things. We're catching up. Probably Doctor Strange. We'll probably discuss a little bit of Doctor Strange. We'll probably talk about Moon Knight a little bit. Other various shows that we're watching, video games, that sort of thing. Jeremy, it may or may not be coming in late. It depends on how late he's working here today. He promises he'd be on the show, and he's breaking that promise. And I hope he feels bad for that. And because he never watches or listens to the show, he's not going to know. He's not going to know that he should feel bad about this. But anyways, once again, that's where we're catching up here today. Of course, you can always check us out wherever you get your podcasts, whether on Spotify, Apple Music, that sort of thing. But also, we are broadcasting live on YouTube. Usually, I like to keep it at Wednesdays at 8:30 Eastern. That's when we broadcast live, and that's what we're doing right now, baby. I don't know why I was a baby. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and begin first. Hey, whoa, calm down. I could have went with Daddy, right? I could have look, Daddy-o, which is worse, which is potentially worse. Anyways, all right, so we'll go ahead and start with me. A lot's new with me recently, watching a lot of various shows. But last night, my Xbox Series X came in.
Yes, I do.
And I've been playing it quite often today, and there is a noticeable difference, not just in the graphics, but in my playing ability. Acid, I'm telling you, I was playing Halo today, and I was schooling some noobs. I was playing pretty well. Usually that's not the case. Usually I'm the noob that's being schooled. But I was doing pretty well. We'll test it out later sometime, maybe in the week. We'll see if I play just as well when I'm in your matchmaking, right? Or our usual squad, which I tend to do better. I tend to do a lot worse when when we're in the squad, when we're matched up with
when he's teamed up against people who are amazing at Halo.
I will say this though, it's not just my KD that went up. My aim is significantly better.
So what? Okay, so is it the controller that's better? Like, what's?
I actually think that's part of it. So what ended up happening was I think it reset all my controller so to default, and for whatever reason, the default aim for me it was like night and day in terms of me being able to control the cursor and being able to track people. I can track people so easier now. So
easier.
Yeah. Okay. Let's calm down. Get my PhD.
Way
I'm
more
gonna do my
easier.
PhD. But I can track people down the most easiest. And but also one thing that I noticed, so one thing that I struggle with in playing in Halo is oftentimes, especially when we get in close quarters combat, I lose the player. Like I see you and then I'll turn and then you're gone and I'll lose you and you're usually behind me or whatever. That's not happening anymore because it's so much more smooth into when I move. That there's no, it's not like I think there was like a skip in frame where I would actually lose the player. Like you would disappear in the frame. So now when I'm turning, I can see you and I can track you better. So you're not getting behind me anymore. I'm getting a lot more melee kills than I used to. I'm getting behind players a lot more often. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about the possibilities of my Xbox Series X.
You might finally get that doggy style achievement, getting behind everybody.
As well, look, that has been a very frustrating thing for me. Because obviously when you're playing Halo, if you melee someone from behind, it's an instant kill, and I always feel like other people were constantly getting that on me, and I was always missing with them. But I think a lot of it has to do with the frame rate. I think I was actually just losing people when I'm moving around. But now, definitely. Also, I will say this. I never understood people who could jump and shoot at the same time. And I was practicing that and I could actually do it. I could jump. And I don't know what it is, if it's the controller setting once again, or if it's the frame rate, but I can actually jump and shoot at the same time like everybody else does, hopper style in Halo. So I was doing that a little bit. And I had a lot of success. So pretty excited about the possibilities. Of course, I can also talk about many of the shows that I've been watching. Finished Star Trek Discovery. Snowpiercer is always fantastic. And Peacemaker was also a great season. So right now I'm trying to finish up Star Trek Picard, which is a roller coaster of intrigue and hot garbage. Let me give you an example. Okay, so in one of the episodes of Star Trek Picard, one of the characters just starts randomly singing. Like just random. So she was trying to create a distraction. So she's just started singing. It was so cringeworthy that I turned to my wife and I go, "This is bad, right? Like this is horrible."
You were confused that it was bad.
I was confused because if you know me, you know that Jean-Luc Picard is my favorite fictional character of all time. So it's frustrating to see a series like this that is so, it just wants to destroy the character in so many ways.
Let me give Let me give you a scenario since you're a Patrick Stewart guy. Okay, so in The Next Generation, there is an episode where Loaxana Troy is being held captive by the Ferengis. And so, she sacrifices herself, to send Riker and Troy back to the Enterprise. And then Picard has to get her back, right? And so the only way to get her back is to do this huge, elaborate, goofy, cringy poetry, right? I'm sure you remember this episode. So when Jean-Luc Picard does this, how in that moment did you feel? Did you feel like that was bad? Did you feel like he lost some cool points for that scene? Or I would like to hear your thoughts.
Here's the thing about Star Trek: The Next Generation. There's 24 episodes per season, so you almost expect there to be some bad episodes. And because there's so many episodes, and because there's so many great episodes, it's almost like you forget those bad episodes. And I know, so I'll frequently rewatch episodes, but I don't rewatch the bad episodes. Like I'll just go back and I'll watch all the highlights. So for me, it's much easier to overlook that, because yes, there are some duds in Star Trek: The Next Generation and like in all the Star Trek shows. But when you're watching a show that's 8 episodes, it might be more than 8 episodes, but let's just say it's 8 episodes, and one of the episodes has such a horribly cringy, it was almost like the actress said, hey, look, I'm only going to come back for season 2 if I get to sing. That's almost what it was like. It also didn't make sense because she wanted to create distraction because there's things going on. So she's like, oh, I got to do something. So she starts singing, but then the band and the lighting like immediately play with her. It wasn't like, oh, what's going on? Oh, let's play with her.
This was musical style. Like all of a sudden, Broadway musical just starts. Let's go. Which is, I'll break out into song in about 30 minutes. It's gonna be awesome.
So 2 questions then. Number 1, because I was in one of the discussions where you're talking about the very first season of Picard, and you had some strong opinions about that one too. Better or worse?
This is better because you can tell they were trying to return to the spirit of Star Trek. However, the whole season feels like a 2-part episode. Like if you think of like a 2-part episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, they would take that concept and they would make it into an entire season.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Which is kind of frustrating because there's a lot of stuff going on which just like, this is all not necessary. I don't care about any of this. This is drama just to create drama. So
well, and that kind of leads to the second question, because it's something that is not necessarily Picard focused, but when you're talking about the 2-part episode feel of this season, because it's a short season, 6, 8, 10 episodes, whatever it is, it's going to like probably max out at 10 at the most. And the idea of not having space for bad episodes, to me, that feels like kind of a just issue we have with like modern television to some extent. A lot of our modern shows have gone from the 24 episodes, 22 episodes to their 10, 12, 13 max. And so there's less space. So do you think that if Picard was able to do a 24 episode show, do you think it would be more forgivable for these types of things? Do you think it would be better overall or worse?
I have no idea. I don't know how to answer that question. The first thing that comes to mind is it would just be 24 episodes of horribleness, right? But it's
they couldn't afford it.
We've talked about this several times on this show, where one of the appeals of Star Trek: The Next Generation and old television in general, well, when you had 24 episodes, is oftentimes the sort of like the pressure to create so many episodes created this fantastic television, because you had to come up with something on the spot, and that's when the experiments started coming to play, versus television nowadays, which can be very good, right? But it's like you have a clear plot line. You have a beginning, middle, and end. We want to get to this ending right here, and we're going to get there doing this, right? And that plan is implemented right off the bat, right? So you have 8 episodes. We're going to get from here to here, just like Moon Knight. We introduce the character and we end up with the character here. With Star Trek Picard is this the exact same thing, but with the original, the Next Generation series. Okay, we have 24 episodes, so let's write some episodes, and it allowed for more creativity, more experimentation, and that's where you got some of these fantastic episodes. Oh, look, we have Jeremy coming in. We have Jeremy coming in, and we're still on my topic. Jeremy, welcome aboard. We're still on my topic. Jeremy. Still talking about, you know how I like to talk, but we're still talking about Star Trek Picard, by the way.
Okay.
Have you seen any of Star Trek Picard season 2?
No, I've not. I am intrigued though that James Callis is in it, so I probably will end up watching it.
And he's good. He's good in it.
Yeah, he's good in everything. I like him a lot.
Yeah, so I was just talking about how there was a very cringy moment in one of the episodes, and it was almost intolerable. Like I could not handle it. So we're kind of discussing Star Trek Picard right now. But yeah,
how far into the season are you? I heard the finale's kind of wild.
Oh, really? I definitely have not gone that far. It's hard to explain because there are moments where I'm like, do more of this right here. This is what I want. You got the characters for it. The performances are pretty good, right? You got a lot of ideas here that are kind of fun to play with. I want more of this, and then they go do something weird. I'm like, no, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? So I know that was a very creative way of saying that I kind of hate Star Trek Picard, but I'm still going to give it a little bit more. I definitely enjoy Star Trek Discovery more. The last season of Star Trek Discovery, a lot more. There are definitely some cringeworthy moments in Star Trek Discovery as well, particular with just the overly positive attitude of Star Trek Discovery. It's always like, all right, guys, we need some ideas on how to solve this. That's a fantastic idea. Let's go ahead and implement that idea. Oh, you know what? We need to talk about how great of an idea that was. Like, no. Let's we don't need to do this. All right. I understand the need for positivity, but sometimes it's a little too much. And then, of course, they're always crying all the time. All the characters are always freaking crying. But anyways, I enjoyed the last couple episodes of Star Trek Discovery because I felt like it was the closest to Star Trek in a long time. It's like, okay, this is a Star Trek episode. This right here, right? Communicating with this new species when we don't know how to communicate with them. Like, this is fantastic. Although with Jeremy, you're going to hate this part. And I feel like I have to warn you about it if you're going to watch Star Trek Discovery. So they're leaving the galaxy. They're leaving the extra galactic space. But in order to leave the galaxy, there's a membrane that they have to go through to exit the galaxy.
So that's actually from the original series.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
Yeah, there's an energy barrier of some kind that you pass through.
Well, there you go. Well, actually, I guess they're just trying to stick with canon then.
Well, but like I'd always assumed it was just one portion, not like wrapping the entire galaxy. So that is interesting.
Yeah. So apparently, there's a membrane around the galaxy that separates the galaxy from extragalactic space. So that was kind of interesting to me. So anyways, I don't know if that's scientifically accurate, but there you go. So that's my...
It is not.
Okay. Well, I figured that once you leave the galaxy, you just slowly leave the galaxy. But yeah, so they had to find a way to get through all that. It's a very dangerous situation for them to get through that membrane. All right, very good. So that's we'll go ahead and end my segment there. We'll kind of move on to Lindsay. Lindsay, what's new?
Not a lot. I'm still working over at the vet clinic and have been expanding on my tabletop schedule exponentially and getting all that over on Twitch, and then trying to catch up. I was in a horror kick for like fall through winter, but now I've circled back around to like a superhero kick, and so I'm just watching all of those shows, plus the random one like Our Flag Means Death, because Taika Waititi is just perfection, and all those type of things. So I watched the Batman recently, watched Doctor Strange yesterday, was catching up on Moon Knight last week and finished that, and so finally caught back up on Marvel. I was not for a while.
Did you want to talk about Doctor Strange for a little bit? What do you think?
Okay. So it is weighed down by a lot of not great things. It'll never be, I think, anybody's favorite Marvel movie. Because there are still occasionally movies that will come out, even though with as far in as we are with Marvel, that people are like, this is like my new favorite one. This gets into like my top 3. This is one I can see myself watching over and over and over again. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I don't think will ever be anybody's like top 3. Because it is weighed down, at least to me, a lot by trying to sew up a lot of plot holes and loose ends and set up for what Marvel's trying to do moving forward. So it's not great in that aspect. However, I don't think it deserves all the hate that it's starting to get. I think it is a better movie than some people give it credit for. Might be partially because I'm a fan of the director, and I do appreciate that it is, to some extent, filmed kind of like a horror movie. There are a lot of very kind of classic horror movie shots and scenes and kind of tropes thrown into it. So I'm going to try to avoid spoiling too much for anybody that might be watching that is going to watch in the future, since that's still in theaters. But there are the main bad guy of the movie. There's several scenes where they explicitly filmed them like a monster running after people in a horror movie. And I like that. I'm a horror nerd, so it's fun to me. And of course, probably one of the movies with the most Easter eggs of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Do you know who this is? Do you know why we're referencing this thing? Which is fun. But it is 100% reliant on the handful of main actors to carry a not super great script. Filming is fun, is entertaining. It's weird. It looks completely different than a lot of other Marvel movies. It feels completely different. It's much darker. It's not one I would necessarily even say go take the kids to watch, because especially if they're younger kids, because it's something that it does get a little bit creepy at times. But I like it, but I like Doctor Strange. I like the director. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. He usually is able to carry most movies he is in, simply because he is a really solid actor. So that's my general opinions on it. A lot of the Easter eggs people were talking about before are in the movie. So I don't know how much is spoiled for some people and how much isn't.
Yeah, so there's a lot that I could say about Doctor Strange. I will say one of the more refreshing elements of Doctor Strange is the creativity on how you show the use of powers. Mm-hmm. Like that has been a criticism a lot of superhero movies. Like we could talk about all the X-Men films, right? Where Magneto is just throwing like metal beams at people, like just constantly, rather than doing anything creative with his powers. Like
he did pull the iron out of that dude's blood that time. That was kind of cool.
But that was like the best Magneto like attack of the entire series because it was strange. I mean,
but because they couldn't do, or they wouldn't do the ultimate, Magneto from the comic books, where he rips out Wolverine's adamantium, which is like peak X-Men.
Yeah, but I think I'm referring to like, remember in Age of Apocalypse, where he's just I
tried not to, but yeah,
shooting like it's almost like he's just shooting like laser beams, but they're metal laser beams, and like it's just like do something else, right? Anyways, so I thought there was a lot of creativity, particular with Wanda's powers, right? We're starting to get to spoilers now, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's not just her throwing her red beams anymore. It's not WandaVision where she's just throwing the red balls at people. She's getting in people's minds, which is fun. She is going through mirrors, which is kind of cool. Like there's just like a lot of, and then obviously I thought the fight scene with Doctor Strange using the the musical notes, throwing the musical notes. I thought that was fun too. There's a lot of other fun creative.
Have you seen that Sam Raimi's being accused of stealing that from a video game?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
So apparently there's some indie developer. Apparently the game's pretty popular. I am not familiar with it. But there's like shots of like the movie and then the game side by side, and yeah, the developer thinks that Raimi kind of took it from him.
Well, there you go. Well, I still liked it, but yeah. So I thought that was probably. I feel like this film is going to be one of those films where you're just going to watch it for the battle scenes. You're going to watch it for the cool scenes. Like, oh, I want to see this. I want to see that scene again. I want to see these guys get killed again because that was awesome. Like, there's going to be a lot of that going on.
I think part of it though is that we're kind of moving into the weird shit of Marvel to some extent, as far as the characters we're pulling in their power bases. Because you think of like your primary characters from like, phase 1 through 4, it's like Captain America, super strength science soldier, Iron Man, mech suits, all these like science-based, kind of reality-based. And now we're starting to lean more into, at least for the near future, more characters that are magic, that are psychic, that are multiversal, that aren't quite as reliant on pseudo kind of understandable science reality. Because theoretically an Iron Man suit is not completely out of the realm of possibility. Like, you can make some sort of robot suit. But, now we're dealing with jumping between universes with dark magic and dark magic versus light magic. And that's going to, I hope, invite more of that creativity. Now, I do worry that it's going to mean that we're going to end up with much weaker plot lines because they're not going to know how to handle that and how to make that intriguing and interesting and make sense. But the visual potential of those type of heroes and those type of abilities and powers just goes through the roof, especially considering the abilities that we now have with our CGI.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. It is different, and I think to some extent I am still processing it. It might be one that I'm going to have to wait until it comes back like onto home video and like watch it again now that I know what I'm expecting and really sit with it. I'm also interested in seeing how many Easter eggs they introduce that they're going to run with, because there's a lot of little introductions that were made that they can just take off with. And I hope they do with some, and other ones I really hope they don't, because it's just going to be a shit show.
All right. Well, very good. Jeremy, your thoughts? Doctor Strange, go.
I mean, I was kind of meh on it, but I've been that way with most of the recent Marvel movies. The fan service annoys me a little bit because it feels cheap to me. Like you're trying to, make people happy just by showing them a little shiny trinket instead of actual character development. So yeah, I thought the last few movies, the characters pretty much ended up in the same spot where they started. They just made stupid decisions in between. I would make the argument that Doctor Strange is actually the bad guy in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but yeah, it was all right. It was not terrible. It was fun.
Is he the bad guy, or is he just one of multiple bad guys in the movie?
I mean, I don't. Are we trying to not spoil it for Acid?
I'll say it again. I have a new job, so the next thing I watch will be the first day of my retirement. So y'all spoil away, I'll probably forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, you can trace her fall and everything to his actions, essentially. So that doesn't mean she doesn't bear responsibility for her actions, but he set the ball in motion with the choice he made in Infinity War. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what choice did he make in Infinity War? What are you talking about?
when he gave up the Time Stone.
Okay, all right. Because he killed because Thanos killed Vision. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because he was able to roll back time and kill him. Yeah. Or if they'd had a little bit longer, they could have removed the stone from Vision.
Yeah, I mean, we'd always point to definitely. Or as the meme, the meme that's been going around is like, Doctor Strange literally made people forget something. So why didn't he just make Wanda forget about her kids? I just literally had that power to do that. Of course, you could have wrote it off as like he tries and it's like, oh, there's something going on. There's something stopping me from doing this. Of course, you could have done that, something like that. But it just seems like you have this power. Why wouldn't you try to do that again?
You didn't even try.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like they brought in that whole unnecessary dreams or your connection to the multiverse thing, which ties back into the whole Tony Stark, I dreamed we had a kid moment.
Well, and it's so like painfully obvious though that they're setting up for Young Avengers and like everything that they're doing right now. I mean, I liked America in this movie, but also it just felt weird too. And I feel like that's also what they're trying to do with all the dream stuff is tie back to Loki, tie back to, setting up for Young Avengers and the powers that are going to be coming in with that. And it just, I don't know. I still enjoy Marvel movies because I am more reliably going to be able to like Marvel movies than other movies that are coming to theaters, simply because I know what I'm getting into half the time. But at the same time, I feel like I am getting a little bit of the Marvel fatigue of, I got through Infinity War, I got through Endgame, I was that first generation of Marvel movies, and Marvel is setting up for a new generation potentially of Marvel goers, and the first generation is just kind of like exiting slowly because I don't know if any of the upcoming ones are ones I'm actually going to watch. I was interested in the Spider-Man movie. I was interested in this one simply because I liked Doctor Strange, and then I'll probably watch the Thor one because I like Taika Waititi, and that's about it. Any of the rest of ones that they've talked about, there's not been any intrigue for me.
Of course, I will pay for anything if Marvel is in the name. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to take my money. I'm going to go because I am a Marvel fanboy through and through. Let's go ahead and move on to Acid. Acid, what's new with you?
I mean, other than the new job still making me tired all the time, I've seen things even more so this week than last week.
I've seen things. You sound like you saw a dead body in the woods.
It's that would be better than what I've seen.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, there are things that hormonal children will do that are just dumb. I mean, just that we would never have ever thought about when we were that age.
You don't know that. You don't know me when I was a kid.
Well, we didn't have a lot of the things that they have now, like access to cell phones with social media and all the things that come with it. It's very disturbing. Some of this stuff.
Okay.
I can't get into detail.
Please don't.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to know. I promise you wouldn't want to know. All I can say to you now is please just drive your kids to school. Just it's going to be better for you and your family in the future. But other than that, the job itself has its ups and downs. Like 2 days ago? It was 2 days ago. It went really good. Like everything just fell right into place. Like,
someone brought a cake to the conference room.
No, somebody brought a Oreo pie today. And
Oh, wow.
cupcakes. It was great. It was delicious. And as we wind down the school year and everything, so we enjoyed that. And then, of course, today, everybody and their mama called out sick or forgot they had dentist appointments or forgot they had this. And then we ended up having one in the ER, driver in the ER this morning. And her mom also drives with us. So that makes two of them that were. So it's just one big. I work for a living now, guys.
Oh, okay.
Before this, I was just driving a bus. Okay, I'm now working for a living.
It gets better. You get used to it.
It sucks. Yeah, I hear it gets better. I haven't felt this challenged since I managed GameStop, and that was 14 years ago. That's been a long time. I don't hate it. I really don't. I love everybody there. I think they're great. Some of them are difficult to work with, but everybody's gonna have that.
Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Gosh, Chad. Whatever. But yeah, it'll be good. Summer will be nice to play catch up and do all that good stuff. So, but the thing I'm looking forward to is right here. I leave for Combo Breaker next Thursday. I'm super excited about that. So I'll be heading to Chicago or outskirts of Chicago to play Mortal Kombat and whatever else I feel like playing. So I am all paid up for the stuff, what do you call Airbnb tickets.
You gotta lose in the first
I
round.
probably will, but that's okay.
First game.
I'm okay with that. I'm gonna take the fight stick up there, get it customized with art and all that good stuff, and that way, at least when I come back, the fight stick will look cool, when when I use it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to buying merch and meeting a bunch of new strangers and getting my butt kicked. That's okay. It'll be all right. So.
Yeah, excellent. Just getting ready for a con, right?
That's right.
Dragon Con is right around the corner. Not really. September.
Got about 100 days.
I got that email, the confirmation that the academic conference at Dragon Con accepted my panel, but now it's up to Dragon Con if they're going to give me a slot or not. So I could potentially be teaching or delivering a panel at Dragon Con, which could be kind of.
So
what's the topic?
How did that work? Yeah.
So there's an academic portion of Dragon Con. It's called like the Arts and Comics Conference or something like that, right? And you could submit your proposal there, and then they have a peer review process, and then it gets selected or not. So that mine was selected, and then they send it to Dragon Con saying, "Hey, look, this is who we want," or whatever. And then Dragon Con says, "Oh, this sounds interesting," or "This doesn't sound interesting," but it's about the Joker. That's what it's about. It is about the Joker, so that should be fun. We had a whole episode on the Joker, as kind of the same kind of conversations will be discussed.
Like when you do the proposal, does it have like your like the people we had on for that episode? Like, do you flesh out? I want these people on the panel with me. I want
No, it's just me. It's
just me. Just you.
Just me. Yep.
One-man band. Look at him.
One-man band. Now they might pair me with somebody else, like if they have another comics themed thing, and just have us all like comic discussions that we get, which is probably going to happen. But yeah, very, very good. All right. So Acid is enjoying his 13-hour work days, reading about what the kids are doing in the back of the bus. Right.
Oh no, I get to watch it. Their videos.
He's watching the videos.
Like you have to watch it?
If the school tells me to pull the video, I have to find whatever the situation is, and I have to clip it.
Do you get like hazard pay for that or something?
No, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I know.
It's bad. Yeah. Well, and honestly, some of it's kind of stupid funny. Like There was I can share this one. This one's kind of funny. So there was a kid who pulls out a bag out of their backpack, and one of the kids in the back is like, "Oh my God, is that weed?" And so the bus driver, of course, hears that, and writes it up and tells me about it and everything. So the school asked me to pull the video, so I pull the video. Turns out it was what was it? It was the heart of an owl.
What, like a literal heart?
A heart of an owl. They, in science class, they dissected owl hearts. So I guess
that's not nearly as bad as the kid just actually having
just a round owl heart in a bag.
We do live in Alabama though,
Like,
so that could be
that's true. Yeah.
That child should not be in school anymore. That's a psychopath.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused about how the owl heart translates to weed in some child's mind, though.
I
That's
don't know. Either that or they were just joking and just screamed it.
You should just take these videos and become the top poster on that "kids are effing stupid" subreddit.
I could, dude, I would be rich. I've got so much stuff I could throw out there. Man. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of some of the stupid stuff you see.
Well, it sounds like Acid, you're enjoying your new job, checking out all these videos. But we'll go ahead and move on to Jeremy. Jeremy, what's new with you?
So not a whole lot new other than what we talked about. I saw Doctor Strange, and you and I spoke about it a little bit. I did sort of get my trips, my vacations planned for the year, so I'm looking forward to some of those. And my work trip got canceled, so I actually can't go to that concert if you want to go to it.
So which concert are you talking about? Tears for Fears?
Yeah.
I bought some lawn tickets, so if you want to buy a lawn ticket, just buy a lawn ticket and we'll hang out.
All right.
Should be fun.
But yeah, so I'm going to Palm Beach next weekend. So it'll be fun.
Palm Beach tan.
Yeah.
5 minutes drive.
I'm going up to Raleigh several times for concerts.
Well, what concert are you going to see?
So first we're going to see James Taylor.
Oh, nice.
And then Dave Matthews, and then Elton John.
All in the same spot? Like all?
Well, so Elton John's actually in Charlotte, but yeah, all in North Carolina.
Okay.
So
it's like all in the same venue?
Yeah, so James Taylor and Elton John are kind of, not all the same at the same time. Those are sort of bucket list items that I always want to see, so I'm glad I'll get to see them. Got a Disney Universal trip planned out over Halloween. Should be a lot of fun.
Ooh, Disney at Halloween.
Yeah, so it's Disney. Disney has their Halloween party. Universal has their Halloween party, which is more adult oriented. And then it's also Food and Wine Festival, and we're staying on site, so it should be a lot of fun.
Sounds like some fun trips that you have planned there.
Yeah, and then we got DragonCon, which is the highlight. So.
It's the cherry.
Oh, DragonCon! How long are you staying at DragonCon this upcoming year?
So the hotel's Tuesday to Tuesday.
Tuesday to Tuesday, baby.
Long trip.
Yeah, that's should be a whole lot of fun. DragonCon. All right, well,
I haven't even looked to see if they've announced anybody, but I assume not this far out.
Yeah, probably not. All right. Well, very good. Well, that's our show for today. Once again, you can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. You can also go to SciFiGangsters.com if you want to. We have plenty of shows that you can listen to. If you're new to this program, you can go back and check out all the great stuff that we talk about on this particular show, like kids filming themselves doing things in the back of the bus. That's a frequent topic that we talk about on this show. That's not true. That is not true. But yes.
Can you cut me out of this? I don't want to be affiliated with this anymore.
And that person is Z Southern.
Disclaimer.
You can always check out all the kid school bus videos at Z Southern's
oh, fuck you.
Twitch
account.
account.
We just got demonetized. So.
But that is the show for today. Goodbye, everybody.